Okay, you can plug it in now. All right. Oh, hi. Nice of you to stop by. You see, I'm getting ready for Christmas. Christmas, Advent's coming really fast. You know, all that fun and excitement. But you know, in addition to that, there's some serious things we need to talk about before the end of the year. Why don't you come on in and I'll give you some of the details. Welcome. Come on and make yourself comfortable. As I said, there's some serious business that we need to talk about. At our annual congregational meeting last winter, we passed a budget that reflected our collective vision of how our ministry would play out over this year at St. Paul's. The narrative budget identified 5 major themes or ministries: congregational life, worship and music, spiritual nurture and development, pastoral care, and outreach in the wider church. Each ministry had a budget amount allotted to it to cover its expenses, and these totaled $380,435. We plan to pay for this mostly through congregational donations, and this usually comes in the form of regular donations via PAR, pre-authorized remittances, or checks. Maybe you've tucked in the standard church envelopes every month. And there are also ad hoc donations during worship services, what we call loose collection. In addition, there are, at least in a normal year, other sources of revenue such as weddings and funerals, room rentals, and the like. Well, this being anything but a normal year, some of these sources of revenue have not materialized or are greatly diminished. For example, with the church being closed, there are no rentals and therefore no rental income. This reduction in revenue has meant some belt tightening. And of course, there have been some reductions in expenses due to the closure of the church building. However, the majority of our expenses are pretty much fixed. Things like salaries, building utilities, taxes, and that sort of thing. Although our staff and the finance committee have done a great job of managing our finances so far, and we are in much better shape than many churches, the finance committee is still forecasting a $22,000 deficit this year. There's not enough in reserves to make up this amount, and indeed we've already been dipping into those reserves that has kept us in as good a shape as we're currently in. So what is the solution? Well, the solution is that we need to get a bump in donations to get us through this year end. Don Gardner has proposed a Balance the Budget Challenge. Now, this idea, endorsed by the Finance and Stewardship Committees, is that we challenge those that can to make special extra donations over and above what they've already committed to make up the shortfall in revenue. I think of this as sort of an inverse Christmas bonus. I've heard that in some companies an extra amount is given to employees at Christmas that is equivalent to a month's wages. Well, you could think of this as a paycheck for the 13th month. So I would like to add to Don's challenge and invite those who are able to give the church a bonus. Maybe a donation of what you would ordinarily give each month, but now an extra amount for that 13th month. Now I realize that this will not work for everyone, as many of you have had your income affected by the pandemic situation. However, I also know that there are those among us, and I include myself in that group, who have stable incomes. And we found that many of the things we usually spend money on, that could be things like travel, dining, concerts, are no longer possible, or at least to the same extent. Perhaps this means that you have more disposable income, and some of this might be constructively directed towards St. Paul's and its ministries. So I'm asking each of you, as you go through the next few weeks and work on your Christmas lists and your Christmas cards and your Christmas baking, to consider a Christmas bonus for St. Paul's. Please join with Don and Barbara, Karen and I and myself, and others in the Balance the Budget Challenge with an extra donation of whatever size suits your circumstances to help meet our expenses and keep St. Paul's and its ministries strong, effective, and sustainable. Thanks for your consideration. Stay well. Peace be with you.